Our dogs don't live in our houses. Our dogs don't get in bed with us. We don't share our bed with dogs. We don't do that. Boki stays outside. Yeah, it doesn't cross that boundary and get into the house. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, and today I'm doing a video on 10 biggest cultural shocks or biggest surprises that I encountered when I moved from Zimbabwe to the UK. Now, it's been 24 years guys, but some of these things are still a shocker to this day. My first one would be time changes. I came to the UK when it was the summertime, so this point hit me the day I landed guys. It was in the summertime and I landed at about 9 p.m. Now, bearing in mind, on the plane they already told us to adjust our clocks. I think by the time I came out of the clearance and everything, it was about 10:30, and I remember looking outside and the sun was bright, and I was looking at my clock, looking outside, thinking, what is happening here? Because in Zimbabwe you can easily tell time by looking at the sun. If somebody tells you come home before 6, they basically tell you to come home before it gets dark. Now that is not the case in the UK. Time, they actually got two different time changes in the year. Like in the October time, when they're about to get into the winter, the time goes back by an hour, and in about March time the time goes forward by an hour, and that is not even enough to make changes on the daylight and how it is, because in the winter, around December time, it gets I think the sun rises at about 8 o'clock in the morning and then gets dark at about 3-4 p.m. and then in the summer it gets bright at about 4 o'clock in the morning and gets dark at 11 o'clock at night. Now, my shocker number 2 was seeing a poor white man. Now, coming from Zimbabwe again guys, in Zimbabwe you do not see a poor white man. Well, I've never seen a poor white man. We've got white people in Zimbabwe, and all the white people that are in Zimbabwe are rich. They all are very, very comfortable. You do not see them doing very low paying, like minimum wage. They don't have minimum wage jobs. They are doing their own businesses, and they're very, very comfortable. So for me to see a poor white man, that was such a shock. My number 3 shocker was the petrol stations. Now in Zimbabwe, you've got a petrol station attendant who, when you drive in, go to the petrol meter and they will ask you how much you want to fill up or how much money you want to pay for the fuel you want to fill up, and they will do it for you. Then you pay them the money. Now in the UK, you drive your car to the petrol station, it's pretty much a self-service. You either pay for it by card at the meter yourself, or you have to walk to the shop to pay for the fuel. Now to me, that was a shocker. Now my number 4 shocker was the houses, the size of the houses and the roads. When I came to the UK, I already had my driving license, so I was hoping to buy a car as soon as I could. But I was looking, as you know, I was in the car and just looking at the roads and just looking at the, at the cars that are parked on the side, and having to drive, negotiating your way with oncoming traffic in these tiny roads. I was thinking, I'm not sure if I should get a car. I don't think I can drive like this, because in my mind I was thinking, how wide our roads are, and there's so much space to negotiate. Even the houses in the UK, it's not uncommon to find a house that is smaller than its garden. English people value their gardens guys. So what you normally find in the UK is they tend to build going up. It's not uncommon to have 2-story, 3-story, 4-story houses in the UK, whereas in Zimbabwe most houses are bungalows. They are on a large piece of land. The garden is proportional to the house, if not smaller than the house, whereas here in the UK, in the house that I used to live, it was a lot smaller than the garden. The garden was probably 3 times the house. So it was like, how does this work? But it's because English people value their gardens. That's a time where they can go and relax when it's summertime. That's a time where if they've got pets, their pets can go and play. Oh yeah, that's another point guys. My next point will be pets. English people love love their pets on a whole lot of different level. Pretty much like their kids. It's not uncommon to find an English person who don't like to have kids but is very comfortable and very happy with their pets. Now, where I come from, we have got dogs for a reason, and our dogs are for protection. Our dogs don't live in our houses. Our dogs don't get in bed with us. We don't share our bed with dogs. We don't do that. Boki stays outside. Yeah, he doesn't cross that boundary and get into the house. That was a bit of a shocker for me, having to go in somebody's house and the dogs walking around everywhere. Like I said, some of the shockers are still to this day a shocker for me. My number 6 point is neighbors. In the UK, you can live next to somebody for like 2 years, 3 years, and not have a clue who they are or what they're called or anything. That to me was a shocker for me, because in Zimbabwe, I pretty much think I knew people that lived in maybe 200-meter radius for me. I knew them all. The community sense in Zimbabwe is a lot more closer than in the UK. So to me, that was a bit of a shocker. My number 7 point is plastic smiles. Now, I lived in London for the first few weeks that I was in the UK, so I used the tube quite a bit, and each time I passed through somebody, they would smile like this, like. And I was thinking, oh, everybody's very nice. They smile at you. I'm still to this day don't really understand why people have got plastic smiles in the UK. Because in Zimbabwe, if you're smiling at somebody, you're most likely going to engage in a proper full-on conversation. You don't just walk around smiling at people. And another point again, while I'm talking about the plastic smiles, is in the UK, if they say you're right, it's not that they want to ask you that, are you really okay? What's happening in your personal life? And this, that, the other. They are basically saying hi. That's a kind of equivalent of saying hi. To me, again, that was a bit of a shocker, because I was thinking, oh, they're asking about how I am. Or maybe I can tell them about my life history. But no, guys, it's not like that. I think I'm on number 8 now. My number 8 is the police. In the UK, you can literally go to a policeman, say hello, ask them about something, they will help you, have a conversation, challenge them, and not necessarily get into a full-on well, disclaimer, my mother was a policewoman, so you think that I would have been very, very comfortable with the guys of the law. When my mom came back from work, I did not run to her when she came home in uniform. I would wait for her to change into her normal clothes, then I'll run to my mom. To me, I knew that this person who's wearing this uniform is not my friend. This person is a scary person. In Africa or in Zimbabwe, you are scared of the policeman. Policeman, you see them when they are beating people, or you see them at the roadblock. Oh yeah, that's what I think, guys. There are no roadblocks in the UK. I remember actually trying to explain to Steve about what a roadblock is. Now that was a story for another day. But yeah, there are no roadblocks in the UK. You don't just when you've got a problem with your car, for example, your headlights is off or something, the policeman can just come to you and tell you about it and just give you like a caution, like, oh, you know, next time or wherever you're going, make sure you get the sort of ASAP. You know, for them to give you a fine, it has to be like a big thing, or you know, for them to even like take you in, it has to be a big thing. Whereas in Zimbabwe, oh, I love you, policeman. Now, number 9 is children. In Zimbabwe, a child is everybody's child. Any adult in the community will look out for your child. If a child is smoking, if an 11-year-old or 12-year-old is smoking on the street in front of everybody, any adult can stop them from smoking and discipline them, give them a good whooping if possible, before they ask them where their house is, so they can take them to their house where they will get further discipline. Now, I know most people say, oh, Africans are very strict and this, that, the other, but I think that aspect, we grew up in a respectful manner. You know, in the UK, if you see an 11-year-old smoking and ask them why they're smoking, they'll tell you, who are you? Are you my mom? And God forbid if you take that child to their parent and say, excuse me, I saw this child smoking. They'll say, what is that? Why are you bringing my child? And is that any of your business? Or you know, or how dare you even bring my child home like that? That kind of thing. You can actually get in trouble for trying to help a child who is smoking per se or misbehaving on the outside. And last but definitely not the least, guys, is for us women and hair and stuff. In Zimbabwe, it's so cheap to get your hair done. You can easily change your hair every week if you want to, because you can just go down the street and so who does hair does it at a very, very affordable price. Now, when I came to the UK, that was 1998, things have changed a little bit, but it was so difficult to even find Nubian hair. You had to drive like somewhere or take the tube, or maybe take 2 or 3 tubes before you could find an African shop. I know that's different now. There's African shops pretty much maybe within 30 minutes wherever you are, and but the prices for the hair is still the same. So most people, myself included, I found that it's a lot easier for me to learn to do the hair myself, because my hairdresser is like 45 minutes away from me. It's not an easy journey. So yeah, those are the 10 biggest cultural shocks, biggest shockers, biggest surprises that I encountered as a Zimbabwean that had moved from Zimbabwe to the UK. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, leave a comment, press the like button, subscribe, and all the nice stuff that us YouTubers tell you to do. Until next time, guys, bye bye.